We're here at Icebreakers Bar and Grill, sitting with Matti Tucker and Scott Booth after their induction to the NFC Football Hall of Fame. Congratulations to you both on the induction. And Scott and Matti, can you tell us about what it was like when you got the call that you were nominated into the NFC Hall of Fame this year?
It was a great honor, but it also at the same time it was kind of shocking a bit due to the fact that a lot of the years, just with work commitments, different things, sometimes I didn't play the whole season. Wore 3 different jerseys some years, but no, you know what? It's from all the guys that led us prior to us getting into the sport with the Steelers. It's a great thing to be honored with guys like Len Monaco and Paul Linklater and guys like that.
And Matti, this is the same for you as being nominated for playing the Steelers. I guess call it semi-pro or however they classify it today.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be nominated for the league?
Same as Booth, honored obviously, and a bit surprised. I got a text from Brandon Lewis the day I found out, and he said, "Congratulations, welcome to the club." And I didn't know what he was talking about, and he said, "Yeah, you and Scott are inducted into the NFC Hall of Fame." And I was a bit surprised, and like Scott said, it's a short list. I mean, there's only with us two now. It's only 20 of us. It's a great list to be on with all the past members, and it's a good deal.
And between the two of you, Scott, you have 12, and Matti, you have 17. Other than the 3 national championships that you guys both have, what would else be your most proudest moment, Matti, with the Steel organization?
You know what? Just being involved in, we had a great group of guys. We had the older guys with the newer guys. We gelled well together. We show up to practices. I'll just go back to that '96 year. I mean, we had 50 guys at practice. We looked forward to going to practice. We had good thuds, offense, defense against each other. A good group of guys. Whatever year we played in, we had some years, the early 2000s. We were 1-7, 2-6, but we still had majority of core guys, 22 to 28 guys, and it was just just good group of guys, lots of fun.
And Scott, like you say, same as yours, three championships. But what's other than that? What's the most probably some proud moments?
Well, you got to go back to, like Matti said, the '96 team. That was, the NFC had taken a hiatus here in the Sault since '87. And that's kind of like in '87, I actually went out for the team, and I did the training camp. But then I was told because of high school rules, you weren't allowed to play. So I remember John Kovich, a great man, telling me that unfortunately I can't play high school if I wanted to play Steelers that summer. He called me at home, so I never did. And then '96, I just come back from university, and I was happy for the opportunity. I mean, not '96, but I came back in '92, and the junior storm had started, and then I hadn't played in a few years, and I wish I could have played with these guys. I was actually coaching with the Junior Storm, and Matti and Bernetti and Fowler and Mooney, all the boys. They were all in that team, but I was a year or two too old. So when '96 came around, it was huge, and what it brought back was guys like Scott Woods and even a guy you see today, Brad Jordan, came out to play with his kids. We had young, we had old, we had all kinds of eras of previous Steelers. That was a huge couple of years for us, and that just sort of kept it going. And like Matti said, the camaraderie that went, and there were some lean years in 2000 and 2001, and some injuries and different things. But once 2005, 2006 came around, that was great. It was great to see the mesh that sometimes we don't see today with the SaberCats and the Steelers. We had a huge influx of players come in 06 and 07 from the SaberCats. You had Noah Russian, Matt Primo, Switz, and Thorburn, all these kids that played Cats, and that's what we needed to get over the hump. We didn't have the young guys to go with the older guys, the veterans and things. And the times we had and as old guys and being the young guys were huge, and it's kind of like you evolved as a family with these guys.
And Matti is, like I say, you've been out for 7 years now, I guess, and football has evolved in Sault Ste. Marie with Sue Minor and the SaberCats. But since you played to now, what's changed in the game when it comes to that level of sport?
What changed for the Steelers now? Well, obviously the numbers are down. I mean, it's nice to, like I said earlier, we always had big numbers out. We had lots of guys. I think it's just times have changed. You know what I mean? There's more and more stuff to do. Less kids are playing more summer sports. They want their time off. But you got the three groups now. I mean, you got the junior cats, senior cats, and then the Steelers. So I don't know. Maybe with those other two groups, they're just having that type of football, and they just don't want to get to the Steeler level. I don't know what to tell you.
And it's the same as following the juniors. This year, the varsity has over 50 kids. Juniors have 30, so it goes influx. Like watching the Steelers haven't played at home yet this year, but it's some of the younger guys are like Matt said, are starting to come out. So hopefully it does change. But again, we talked off our air earlier today. There's so much more to do today come summertime. Yeah. So it's hard to, and it's guys like Brandon Lewis who's still suiting up, but they're doing it for the love of the sport. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. They're just doing it to suit up to enjoy the game of football, right?
Yeah, basically. He loves the game. I mean, he doesn't have to prove anything, obviously. He's been 18-year All-Star in a row. He's just doing it because he loves it. Yeah.
And on that subject, and it's something that it's something that with Brandon, I was going to ask him near the end, but we're on that topic, is Boother is him suiting back up. What's your thoughts on that one?
Well, you know what? I was actually really happy. I knew it was happening once I started seeing his daily Facebook posts of carrying his logs and running the hills and climbing Trap Rock in Echo Bay Garden. It's great. You know what? I played till I was 43, and he's definitely got to be feeling it, because I tell you, I felt it. But it's great to see, because he is a leader. Brandon is. He's maybe the Pied Piper that the Steelers need right now. He can still fit in with the young guys and keep them going, and his intensity, it doesn't matter how old he is, will never change for the game.
And Scott, that's what you mentioned, again, talking here at Icebreakers, is about the game. Yes, it was 36-0 this past weekend, but he's a huge part of that D-line, and it's something that he changes that line totally just because of that, eh?
Well, if you look at the stats and actually sit down and look and see what Sarnia did offensively, they didn't have a lot of passing yards, they didn't have a lot of rushing yards, so that bodes well to that defense. It's a stout defense. Your front seven, they have a great linebacking core. Something that was very rare is that the Steelers played an odd man front. We went with a 3-4, and that just tells you that we got 5 really good linebackers with this year's team. So, there's Brandon, Old Man River at 43, holding up the nose tackle. And, that's a lot to do. So, that's great. There's definitely a lot of positives from last weekend. You can't let that 36-0 score dictate it. We all know that defense comes together quicker than the offense. The offense is going to gel. And I'd be a little remorse if I didn't mention Darryl Wood back as a signal caller. He was our quarterback in the 07 championship when Travi got hurt, and he did a great job. And in Darryl's own right, he was a CIS rookie out of the Quebec League when he played at Concordia. So, they're definitely got some leaders in that team, and hopefully that it's tough to watch. There's lots of guys in town that choose to coach or do different things instead of play. If you love the game, get out there and play. Guys play men's league hockey. They do all play slow pitch. But if you're a football player, man, it's bred in you. So, dust off the cleats and get out there. The team could use you, and there's no better time.
And next Wednesday, you guys are, I guess, say induction. You're getting together up at the Grand Gardens. It's also a fundraiser for the Steelers, and you might take a little bit of razzing for this. So I'm going to ask both of you. But who's a favorite player you played with? And like you say, what did you enjoy playing with them, Matti?
I can't narrow down the one. There's different players every year that I played that were across the board. Of course, Brandon Lewis, Gordy Campbell, Scott Booth sitting across the table from me, Josh Gauthier, all the Gauthiers. I mean, I can go on and on. It was like I said earlier. It's just it was a good group of guys. We gelled. We always had fun. Going to the socials after. During the week after practice. It was just something we did. We were all buddies. We all hung out. That's what we did. We didn't. We wanted to play football in the summer. It's just you can't narrow it down to one player. We had too many good players.
And Boother?
Well, kind of similar to Matty, it's hard to narrow it down to one person, but you know what? You look back to the guys that were on the 96 team, you created a bond for 12 years, in Matty's case 17, but in that whole run, you became really great friends with these guys. Like, Bernetti, like a guy like that, Gordy Campbell, Louis, Steve Roberts. I'd be remorse if I didn't mention Beach. When Beach played and Beach coached, Jason Biagini. Like, there was tons of guys, to Ashton Young, to the Goches, Stewie coming back out. We were a tight-knit team. We'd go to socials, we'd do things, and we can't sing our song here, but we had a song that we sang after wins and on the bus and through bars, and it was a good team. And you know what? And there's a different camaraderie in football as opposed to any other sport. The guys just bond that much quicker. Even if you're not the same age, or you went to the same school, or even hang around off the field or the rest of the year. During that time you're playing, you'd go through a wall for these guys. So, yeah, it's hard to say which guy was the best, because like every year there was someone different. I still talk to, a guy, we had Joe Eschkebach, who was on the team. You know what I mean? He's out in BC. We still talk on social media. You know what I mean? Joe wasn't a guy that I hung around with in town, but at practice, we had a blast going up against each other and doing things. So, things like that that's what made the sport so much fun.
And one question here, and he was on and off as a coach, but let's say 2 words, and then tell me what you think of him. Barry Russian, Matty.
Well, I remember when I played for Cora, and he was always at Blading, so we had that big rivalry and everything like that. So, he was Coach Russian at Blading, and he wasn't too liked. But you know what? When he became the coach for the Steelers and stuff like that, we got right away, got in that mindset, and we, hit it off right away, and we joked around before practice, and now even nowadays I see him downtown when I'm working and stuff like that, and right away, we want to go golfing, we want to do this. We hit it off right away. So it's been how long has Barry been coaching? 17 years, anyways now. So I've known him for at least that long. So no, he's a great guy. I'm glad to have him as a coach and a friend.
You know what? Kind of like Matty, I went to the Dunn Blading rivalry was huge. Truthfully, I thought Barry was a bit of a dick when we first went out with the Steelers, but we got a lot. In that first year in '96, him and I had a little jabbing back and forth. We became really good friends, and I can tell you today that if it wasn't for a guy like Barry Russian and Donnie McBain, there'd be no Steelers. Those guys stepped up to the plate and brought the team back. Those guys went above and beyond to do a lot of stuff, and I can tell you right now, Barry's a really good friend of mine. His wife Jeannie and my wife Erica, we get together, we do things. I talk to Barry quite often, and he's. I still call him Coach, just out of respect. But it's he did a lot for the team. He still does a lot. He's the president of the NFC. He's still involved, and there's a guy that's retired and got a beautiful home on St. Joe's Island. He doesn't need to be dragged in doing this stuff, but he still does it for the love of the game.
And like I say, just to put you on the spot, 43 Matty and 49 for Jay. If you could suit back up, would you?
43?
Oh, it's 46. Sorry, I was giving you the benefit there, Matty.
I know I look much younger than Scott.
There you go. Now, would you put the pads back on if you could?
Oh yeah. Like I said, I love the game, and I just not that I've slowed down a lot. but no, of course, love of the game. Just time, family, obviously doing other things now. My son's into football now in the summer, so I help out with that and everything. I'll go to the games and watch and go from there. That's about it right now.
Luther, for your 50th, you gonna suit up?
No, not a chance. You know what? It sounds sad. I tried for the last 2-3 years to not play, just because of work and family commitments, different things, and it just every year it seemed there was someone got hurt or something happened and they were short, and a lot of times by the deadline I'd sign and end up playing, and then I'd never regret it, because once you got out there, once I'm committed, I'm fully in. But I know now, there's not a chance in hell I could do it.
And the thing is, we hosted the national championships. Some people said 4,000, some said 7,000 here. It was probably one of the biggest crowds you ever played in front of. What was that like?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, you had to be out in that field and look at the crowd and seen the beer garden and stuff like that. There probably been, 2,000 people in that beer gardens, and the other 5 or whatever thousand in the stands and around the field. I mean, it was 22 degrees out. Obviously, the outcome was in our favor. It was a great day for the Sault Ste. Marie football. Good day for the Steelers. Good day for it was even at night with everything else going on, and it was a great day. It was awesome. To be honest with you, you had to be out in that field and just experience it. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, similar to Matti playing in the 3 championships. That by far was we played in the 07 in Oshawa again against the same team against Edmonton. There was really no home team, but so the fans weren't there wasn't that many fans. The only fans were there for the Sioux, and there wasn't too many. Then when in 09, when it was here, it really opened the eyes to the rest of the NFC. And that happened a lot with just all through the years that we had teams. The Sioux fans always come out and support. Doesn't matter what sport it is. And so it was nothing for us to play in front of 1,000 people all the time here. We go on the road, and that doesn't happen often. At times it does, but it didn't happen often. But that 09 year, the way the city came together, the corporate sponsors, the businesses, and then I'll tell you, to run out of the arena and see the actual amount of people out there, it was jaw-dropping to the guys. It was shocking, and I'll never forget. Jason Bernetti getting his interception and running by the beer garden, and he stopped and he pretended that the football was a beer, and he took the top off and drank out of it, and that beer garden just went crazy.
Yeah, they went awesome. They went off. It was awesome.
Phenomenal. And you looked around at, in university, I played for Windsor, and we were in London playing against Western, and it was their homecoming. So at JW Little Stadium, it was just packed with people. But you know what? The atmosphere there that year in 09 was phenomenal. It was just a great time, and you couldn't ask for anything better than that.
And Matti, with the NFC, what would probably be for you when you played over your 17 years, the biggest rivalry?
Who's a bit? It was Tri-City, but I think at the beginning was Sudbury a bit, because we got back in the league, and they were the northern team. They were supposed to be the team, but I think honestly, in my 17 years, I only lost to Sudbury once in Sudbury because of a referee call. But
now you can say that. Right?
Yes, now I can say that. But no, I remember we were in Sudbury in that one call, and but yeah, the last few years with the championship stuff, I would have been in Tri-City for sure. Yeah.
And kind of funny with that call, the guy that ended up scoring the touchdown played for us after Dan Leduc.
That's right.
So he was part of a lot of years of this. But for me, it would have been because the tenure we had. At first, it was Oakville. Oakville was huge. That was jaw-dropping to go play against Oakville. They'd have 60, 70 guys show up at Bronte Field when we went down there for the NFC Championship. And, guys are pulling in Audis and Beamers, and one guy pulled up in a Lamborghini and in an American full jumpsuit, American flag jumpsuit.
New York State plates.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. There was guys that played at Florida State, different things in the team. They had
that was in '96.
CFL practice cuts, roster guys. It was wild. And then as you went through it, you'd be remiss to say that Tri-City was our equal all the years from 05 right up until they knocked us out in 11. That group of guys there with led by Lee Becker, and that they were tough. Those are great games. Those are games you never forget. And Lee Becker, originally from the Sault Ste. Marie, was a key thing too. But yeah, Tri-City games. You were getting the snot knocked out of you and see who wins at the end of the game.
And Matti, you had mentioned we talked before the interview. Like your son's playing football now.
Yeah, the Sioux Minor. Yeah.
You've been involved, but you're not coaching now.
No.
Being Bantam.
Yeah.
When you guys played, there was no Sioux Minor.
No, not at all.
So now they're starting at a young age and going all the way through.
Yeah.
Eventually, hopefully that.
We had flag football in elementary school. That was it.
But
then
now that we're
got
in
the you got the high school, and then that's what you learn. That's it.
So now really you have Sioux Minor, you have high school, you have Sabercats, Steelers. So hopefully, even with our declining population we talked about,
Yeah.
hopefully in the long run, Steelers will benefit from that early age, couldn't it?
Oh yeah, well, you hope so. Well, obviously, if more kids stay in town, right? They do. I mean, they'll go all the way up. They play the high school, the two cat leagues. Well, even got Bobcats before that, right?
Yeah.
And then hit high school and then Steelers or whatever. Maybe university come back. That'd be great. I mean, there's lots of kids that go away, come back now, and they're not doing too much in town. I don't know why they don't play. I mean, there's probably a couple dozen, anyways, that could play. They have university experience 4 or 5 years. They'd definitely help out the team. I mean, having that university level. I mean, everybody needs that, right? So.
And again, there's so many different sports to play, and this is more not about Steelers, but when it comes to, I guess, say life, what has football done for you? Like, say, like just the team part and everything else. Is that?
Well, just the amount of friends. You make a team. I mean, I'll go back to the '96 team because we just had so many guys. Bang, there's 50 guys, 60 guys in the team, and you just made 50, 60 friends like that.
But football's different, I find, than other sports, though. Right?
Well, there's obviously more people. And I think, like Scott said earlier, there's the camaraderie right away. Like you said, you got the age groups, young, old. Everybody just clicks, right? Everybody's in the same boat. You do it because you love the game, and you get to meet new people, and it's a great game.
And last question I always ask when I do interviews is, because of something like this, Buther and Matti, is there anybody you'd like to thank for playing with the Steelers and that?
Oh, just all the coaches and players that we played with, and it was a blast. It's the most fun you could have in a summer. The support staff to, I can't miss Wolfie and Johnny. Those guys are out there, and different guys. Even Chunk, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Good guy. But they were great times. You'd have to thank them all. But no, it's. You'd have to think. I'd have to thank the late John Kovich because what he instilled in me and Ken White in coaching at the Dunn, it gave me a thirst for football. And then so I went on to university and then came back, and when the chance this came, I slow pitch or play football. Well, to me it was a no-brainer. I haven't played slow pitch since. You know what I mean? Football is a sport that. To me, is unmatched.
Yeah, I mean, like Scott said, I mean, all the coaching staff, Barry, Paul, late Donnie Bain, all those guys. I mean, if it wasn't for those guys, you can go back. I mean, if you want to go the Junior Storm, Carlo Iacco and Jimmy Baiocchi, them, they all, they basically started up back in the day with the Junior Storm, and even back then, I remember that we all had tryouts and everything like that. We had it at the George Leach Center, and Andrew Gregg came back and played and stuff like that. It was just fun. We had every All-Star that ever made it in Sault Ste. Marie was on that team. So it was basically an All-Star team, stuff like that. But it was great football, and and the past players playing with. It's like Scott said, it's a great game. Why wouldn't you? Why?
And if we could bring back some of the kids are playing football in CIS right now.
Yeah.
So in the summer, they would have over 40 kids.
I
don't want to say 40 kids, 40 guys.
Yes. Yeah.
So when you go on the road, instead of having 22, 24, 36
you may have
to
the
40,
yeah.
it really helps.
Well, with that though, you're not going to play if you're still playing CIS. You're probably not going to play ball in the summer. It'd just be too hard on your body. Because remember, you're not playing against kids anymore. You're playing against men. So there's a bigger difference. Just the pounding on your body. But when you're done CIS, or if you played Sabercats all the way through and you decided to go into a trade, or you didn't play CIS, I really don't know why you wouldn't play Steeler football. You know what I mean? To me, and this is a hot topic in town or a sore spot, but these three organizations need to get together and for the betterment of football in Sault Ste. Marie. I said there's so much talent that goes through this city that it was shocking. And sorry to hijack the mic for a sec, but at the end of the day, for a city our size to win 3 national championships, we go against teams from Southern Ontario. Their population is triple, quadruple to,
Tenfold.
Yeah, exactly. And here we are, teams from the Sioux. And when we were out in Red Deer, we rolled off the bus with 32 guys, I think, that rolled out there. We played against Lloyd Minister. These are all young kids. They're all super fit. They're looking at us going, these guys look old, and they're big. Like, They were ignorant at the banquet. They thought they were just going to walk all over us, and we pounded them.
Yeah.
And we gave them a lesson. We came from Little Sault Ste. Marie and won again. And so these kids can do it. There's so much talent in Sault Ste. Marie that we need these kids come back out and keep playing.
Well, thank you very much, and congratulations on your induction.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next week.
Yes.